This the war report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. In the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear 'em out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out smackdowns, follow on IG Plus. It's sponsored by Tagging Your Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space, now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm pretty fucking excited Goldberg's back. And I don't know why. Because, like, I was a fan of Goldberg, but then he botched the whole thing with Taker, and I was like, all right, it should be a wrap. But there's just something about this music in Goldberg. I just happen to be a fan. I don't know, maybe it's because he's a Jew. But I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. And Ziggler's going to get his ass whooped because he's next.
Maybe a 20-second match.
Oh, yeah, of course. The entrance will probably be longer than the match. And that's okay.
Yet again, another 20-second match in Toronto for Goldberg.
But you get to see him.
Yeah.
And hear this wonderful music.
Oh, God, please.
Well, welcome everybody. The War Report podcast live Tuesday, 7 as always. Missing tonight, the voice of Northeast Wrestling, Vince Berry, will not be with us this evening as he's on a family beach vacation. So he's chilling. Ryan apparently is on a date. I'm assuming they met through tagmeadate.com, but that's a conversation for another day. And Eric is not with us because I believe he's going to see a concert this evening. But it's all right. We got Amanda, Sam, Kat, myself, and we have a lot to talk about because in just a few days, we have one of the big four. SummerSlam is upon us. Not only that, but Amanda gets to go.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And I'm going to take over.
I knew that was coming. Very exciting.
You'll get the great show and then you'll get the okay show.
And they're having a superstore, so all my money is going bye-bye.
Any idea what you're getting?
I'm 100% getting the Raptors side plates for my belt.
Awesome.
And then Foot Locker is also doing a whole bunch of WWE by Converse exclusives just for Canada. So there's a lot of money that's going to go there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Amanda, I'm going to spend you so much money. Just buy me a bunch of things.
Sure. Tell me what you'd like.
Random shit.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Very exciting. Yes, I does anyone else, before we really dive in, because we do have a lot to cover between Raw, SmackDown, and of course NXT and SummerSlam and predictions and everything else, but is it me or has the build-up to SummerSlam been pretty weak this year around?
Very weak.
All right, I don't know. I almost forgot that SummerSlam is this weekend. You know, it's like something has been missing with the push to get people excited, I guess. I mean, the whole Goldberg deal, you wait until the week of. Like, there should have been some build-up. Even Brock Lesnar's been around. You know what I mean? So I find that a little bizarre.
Last night didn't feel like a going-home show.
Right? It just felt like another Raw.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair, but if you're looking at the card on paper, this looks pretty good.
Yes.
You got Seth Rollins versus Brock. You got Randy Orton versus Kofi, Natalya versus Becky Lynch, Ember Moon versus Bayley, Ricochet versus AJ. You got the Cruiserweight match with Drew Gulak. You got Ali versus Shinsuke, not officially announced. The Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag titles. Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. Bray Wyatt versus Finn. Ziggler versus Goldberg. Flair versus Stratus.
Oh my God.
Aleister Black.
Who?
Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, not officially announced. Cedric Alexander versus Drew McIntyre, also not officially announced. That's a stacked card. Holy
Yeah, but see, until you said that, I didn't know half of those matches
I
were
didn't
even.
know half of that either.
Well,
That's-
see now, but that's part of the problem, and that's what I'm saying. It's like there hasn't been enough of a build-up to get people excited about the fact that it's SummerSlam. I mean, this is one of the big four. This is a big deal. There are a lot of matches, so Amanda, get ready because you're going to be there for a long time. But I don't know. I think it's on paper. You're right, Sam. It's going to be a hell of a show, and I'm excited as hell. And I think we should dissect them a little bit too because they haven't announced the Samoa Joe Roman Reigns deal yet, right?
Right, no, yeah.
What if, after what happened this past week, it winds up being Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan? And maybe do a little face turn with Samoa Joe.
Kind of had to after what happened last night.
I mean, Samoa Joe, for being a badass and being so sadistic lately, he seemed to be pretty concerned.
Well, yeah, because that was a real big twist to his character, big time. Stay down, don't move, where's security? Going all ape shit, like, like what the hell just happened?
Right.
Totally out of character for Samoa.
What do you think, Shaman?
They have to do it. I mean, like, I agree with the cat. There's just no way. Why else would I watch it? I'm just like, I'm trying to figure this out now, the way you broke it down.
But can we just say that last night looked a lot better than on SmackDown last week with the stuff falling?
Oh, the car?
Yeah, the car looked way better than the stuff falling down from the rig or whatever it was last week. Last week, extremely fake.
Yes, no, I agree. But you know what, too, though? A lot of that was because of the camera angle. When they go to that wide aerial shot, that's when it looks so beyond planned and faked. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they kind of did it last night, too, but it was a very quick switch back to a different camera shot that just made it look better, in my opinion.
Right, but no matter what, there was still impact to a car. So
It's starting to feel a little bit of like the old WCW Hummer bullshit.
yeah,
I don't know.
well, one was probably
this is
done
a
by
problem.
Eric and one was done by Paul.
True. But obviously they have to communicate. And what I'm reading on the dirt sheets is that Vince is ripping up scripts and rewriting shit all over again.
Oh
I
god.
heard that about tonight.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, I heard an hour before they went live yesterday, they were still redoing shit.
And I mean, we can't have another show like Raw where it really wasn't about the pay-per-view, you know? What do you guys think?
Well, I agree with that. I mean, like Kat said earlier, it did not feel like a SummerSlam take-home show. You know, it felt like any other Raw to me, which shouldn't be the case.
And it was still a good Raw, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't feel like, I mean, there was not a lot devoted to Sam. And we still have, like you said, Roman Reigns still doesn't have an opponent. We technically know who it's going to be, but
Well, yeah, because they killed him like 3 times.
yeah, but still, but that's what I'm saying. We're X amount of days out and we still don't have opponents for people. Even like you said, the Dolph Ziggler Goldberg thing was great. It was a great spot, even though I'm not the biggest Goldberg fan in the world, but
You shouldn't have to because he's terrible.
it shouldn't have to be 5 minutes into the show ending that we see Goldberg to know that he's wrestling on Sunday. That should have been a big spot for him.
I think they did that well because it was just at the end. I just think that Goldberg doesn't know what he's doing and he never did. So
That's true, too.
If you didn't notice, he gets in the ring and throws the table with the contract he's supposed to sign like an asshole. And then he has to sign it. So he has to pick it back up and set the table back up again. And then he signs it and then does his promo. Like, I don't understand this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
Yeah, he was licking the pen and everything. I saw that too.
The promo was perfect. Goldberg doesn't.
Promo went well.
I mean, he doesn't have to say much. Exactly what he said was perfect.
Right, but he has to throw the table on the contract that he needs to sign.
Well, yeah, I mean that was kind of retarded, but
He couldn't wait till after he signed it, then threw it, then did the promo.
He never knows what he's doing. That's the problem.
well, nah, that's not true.
Yes, that's true.
Lately? Yes,
That
it
is
is.
not true.
Lately?
Forever. Name a match that he's carried on his own. Name one.
Say that one more time.
Name a single match in his entire career that Goldberg has carried, that he called and carried himself.
That's not a fair question, and I'll tell you why. No, I will tell you why.
I got you back on this one, Sam.
Oh, God.
His matches are never more than a minute or two long, so what is there to be a ring general and fucking dictate the pace of a match? There is no pace. It's really pretty quick. Even a long match for him is 3-4 minutes.
I think even you know that that's bullshit. I think that when you have a craft and this is your career and this is what you're making your life out to do, whatever, you have to be in some way, shape, or form good at it and also want to become good at it. And I don't think he ever picked up anything other than his shitty 3 moves that I never cared about and I always knew was bullshit.
Yep.
And that he could never do on his own. And it was proven in his last Taker match that finally, after the steroids ran out, he could not lift anybody up.
Yes.
Couldn't hold him up. So let's get all that power plant bullshit out of here and tell him to stay his ass home and quit it because it's bullshit. And if Dolph Ziggler doesn't kick him right in the face, I'm gonna be upset.
I know. It could be a 10-second match, but let's get one let's get one side kick, super kick in.
What if HBK comes out?
Oh my God.
No.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
This is what you're going to be hearing at the beginning and at the end of that 25 to 30 second match against Dolph Ziggler on
That's
Sunday.
the only good part, so I'm okay with that.
And let me tell you, no matter what you two think, he's getting fucking paid.
I don't give a shit about his sex.
Yep.
Oh God.
Oh my God, he's turning it up. Seriously.
His music's great.
Hey, listen, you got 2 Hispanics right here, okay? We can talk louder than the music. It's all good.
I have complete volume control and mic control. I beg to differ.
I'm gonna shut your mics down.
I'm gonna be like Vince McMahon in the fucking truck, stopping microphones.
Cut the mic,
Shut
so
up,
good
Renee,
God.
Renee Young, you shut your pie.
I'm glad you mentioned Renee Young too, because one thing I also noticed on Raw, I feel like now she's even saying less. Like, even if that's possible, because she wasn't given the opportunity to say it, like, I feel like now she's even hesitating to say more. Because of all this stupid shit.
She's conscious of her mistakes. She's more aware of her voice. And it's changing everything for her.
I thought she gave a solid performance last night, honestly.
I think she always gives a solid performance.
Oh, no, I do too. But I think last night, like you said, Sam, her being more conscientious, I think she gave the spots right when she needed to.
I think the best part of last night was the Mrs. jacket. That Gucci jacket was fantastic.
That was a great jacket.
And I think his jacket had put on a better performance than Goldberg has ever done.
I think his face when Goldberg came out was priceless.
I just picture in my head Goldberg going for a spear, and out comes Shawn Michaels and kicks Goldberg right in the face.
Oh my God, that would
Dolph
be...
Ziggler then kicks him in the face again, and they both just leave SummerSlam. And Shawn Michaels becomes his manager, and they do what's supposed to be done all along and put over Ziggler as a serious heel.
Well, that's horseshit.
Listen, horseshit is fantastic.
One can dream.
So, Raw, like we said, overall was a pretty solid show, even though it didn't feel like a take-home show.
I give it a 6.
Really? You would give it that low of a score?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we started off a couple weeks ago really strong. It was starting to teeter again. I think Vince liked it, but he's getting his claws back into the shit. And I don't know.
I think I would probably give it close to an 8.
Yeah, see, I'm with Kat. I'm
Give it
thinking more of like an 8. Yeah, I do. I think it was pretty solid all the way through. It kept my attention.
Kurt Angle in a referee shirt getting destroyed by Bray Wyatt?
Well, that's why it's not getting a 10.
Well, listen. It kind of goes with the common theme of what's been happening, right? I mean, he's taken out legends. So Kurt Angle being in Pittsburgh kind of makes sense. I was happy with that segment, more so to see that he was still using the mandible claw. So it does officially look like he's going to be using that now. And
That move was terrible.
you don't like the mandible claw? I don't think it's bad. I mean, I think that looks better with him than it did than his other move, the
Sister Abigail was
Sister
fantastic.
Abigail. It's a great move, but I think now that with the change of character, the mandible claw is more fitting. I still could see him using that other move, you know.
Do you remember Ming? What was Ming's finisher? The tongue and death grip, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the same shit as the mandible claw, and it's terrible.
No, Ming's was it wasn't in the mouth. It was
under the throat.
right. This is in the mouth.
The same shit, and it's terrible. What do you guys think? Amanda, what do you think?
I didn't watch Raw.
So it's a 6. Yes.
I don't know. I thought it was overall. I thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed The Fiend as always. I mean, as of right now, in my opinion, Bray Wyatt can do no wrong.
Did anyone watch how bad that women's title match was?
The tag one?
Holy shit.
It
The
was a
amount of
train wreck.
botches.
Yeah,
The
but dude, when you have a tag team match like that, and you have Mandy and DeVille, and you have the Iconics, I mean, you're already setting up for failure, because
I think that's unfair. I don't agree.
how do you not agree? Alexa
Dropping the belts
Bliss, Nikki Cross are not the problem, and
Yes, they are.
really?
Did you not see Nikki
Yeah.
Cross botch every move?
See, I didn't catch that. I didn't see her botching a shit ton of moves. I saw one or two, but
You could see every spot she called. It was terrible.
Nikki Cross screwed up a lot last night. Yes.
It was brutal. It looked like Steve and I was in the ring then.
I don't know, man. To me, well, first of all, it was too long. Let's start there.
Well, the Iconics losing is the first mistake.
No, that was the right move.
That was terrible.
Oh, that was a perfect move.
So you rather give two randoms the belts. That makes perfect sense. Nikki Cross with an Alexa Bliss t-shirt on. It's fantastic. Makes no sense. They
You
have
want-
no...
I'll tell you why it works for me. The
Love
Iconics,
Alexa Bliss.
the Iconics as tag team champions is not believable to me. I do not think they are that good in the ring at all. The only thing to me that's good about the Iconics is Peyton Royce is a pleasure to watch and look at. Outside of that, I mean, I think they're funny. I get a kick out of them. But I don't think they're that solid in the ring by any means, and I don't think they should be the champions. That's just my opinion.
Don't put the belts back on Sasha and Bailey so we can be bored like we're watching the revival.
Well, their one problem with that is Sasha's no longer in the company, or, I mean, she's not back on the show, so that wouldn't work. I don't know what the answer is of who should be the champions. I don't necessarily have a problem with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross being the champions because I don't think it's going to last that long. I think
You
in the
don't
end...
think a tag team champions should actually be a tag team and actually know each other's spots and actually come up
Dude,
together?
think about some of the what wound up being some of the greatest tag teams ever that
Be
were just
careful
put
what you
together.
say greatest. Hold on.
Well, I said no. I didn't say the greatest. I said some of the. I mean, look at
You
here.
still said some of
well,
the.
here. Perfect example. To me, Cesaro and Sheamus are in the tops as one of the greatest tag teams, in my opinion, for two guys that were not a team, that were just thrown together, and they made it fucking work.
Fair, but hold on. You can't compare that to these guys. Understand one thing. Cesaro and Sheamus, they did a best of whatever, 7 series. They figured it out, they put it together, and then they worked together as a tag team. It wasn't a fucking random pish posh of shit and says, "Here, by the way, you are now a tag team." And then they gave them the belts. That's not what it was. So come on, man. You can't compare that. That doesn't make any sense. If you had a better shot with RVD and Kane.
I don't know. I think if we're talking about strictly
This is fun.
people getting thrown together and working it out and becoming a team. How could you say the Iconics are fantastic? Could somebody please,
They're fantastic.
somebody
they're not
else
booking them right.
agree
They're not
with
being
me
booked
that the Iconics are not that great in the fucking ring?
Can't. I love the Iconics.
Oh, fucking Christ. Amanda.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm all by myself?
Of course you're by yourself because you
This
don't
is
open your
horrible.
eyes. Watch
And
it.
if Eric was here, Eric would be on the Iconic bandwagon also too, because Eric likes the Iconics.
I'm really getting close to muting microphones, goddammit. I can't believe I cannot believe I'm hearing this right now.
Why not? They're fun.
They are fun. I find them funny. I think Peyton Royce is great to look at. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're that talented in the ring. I don't know.
Better than the Bellas were.
Well, that doesn't take much. But I'll tell you something. In all honesty, I think towards the end, Nikki Bella became a better wrestler than Peyton or whatever her face.
God.
They
Oh
don't
my
do
God.
it. They don't do it for me. They don't
No.
do it for
Oh
me.
my God.
No, Peyton Royce is a better wrestler than Nikki Bella ever was.
Yeah.
Well, Peyton Royce is definitely the better of the two.
But even I still think Billy Kay does a better job.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Billy Kay with the big boot.
Are we watching the same show? I can't believe I'm all by myself on this one. I mean, I don't expect Sam to ever fucking agree with me. But, fuck.
I don't see what I think the gimmick that they did with them as the tag champions, I mean, it worked for them because of what they were doing to put them against, like, jobbers and people in the home states. I think that's stupid. I think they should have more title defenses because I think they can handle it. But that's not their fault. That's the writing's fault. I think they're good.
I exactly agree with you. I feel like they did not book them correctly. When you put the belts on someone, like I think it's okay to let them beat jobbers. I think it's funny because that's what you got to put them over. They're not on NXT anymore.
Right, but their entire reign, they basically just took on jobbers. I didn't think
Because what other team are they going to put them against? So you have the Ibuki Warriors that makes no sense, and they throw them with Paige. Again, makes no sense. It's just random. You have Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Again, Alexa Bliss can't take the bumps that she used to. She's scared. So let's put a workhorse there, put Nikki Cross, and let her flop and botch every match, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Then who else are you going to put? You can't put anybody else. Naomi just went through a divorce, but she doesn't want to be on TV, right? I don't know. They had nobody else. They had no choice. Bailey, I don't know what Bailey's doing anymore.
she's the women's champion.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. She's like Seth Rollins. They're just there because they're fair wrestlers. They can actually put on a couple good matches, have some good moves, but they're useless.
So moving on. Because I'm not gonna win this one.
Impossible. We've actually
Listen,
Steve.
I will end it with this, where I was kind of going with this before, is that in the end, this whole Nikki Cross Alexa Bliss thing is not going to last very long, because in the end, Alexa's going to turn on Nikki, and that's going to be an internal thing between them. Ultimately, the ones that are coming out, I think, the next women's tag champions that are actually going to have a run, I think, are going to be the Kabuki Warriors. I think that's what it's all leading to.
That literally just keeps reminding me of like a sex move.
A sex
The
move.
Kabuki Warriors.
Hey now.
Oh, wow.
Hey now.
It just sounds like a dirty, dirty sex thing to me. That's all I think of.
It kind of
And what-
does.
And Paige is their master.
Right.
Well, we know Paige is not afraid to get on her wild side, so.
She likes.
I feel bad for her. I honestly do. She's being so underutilized.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? You got to look at it this way. At least they're using her. You know what I mean? How many people get injured and then they don't do anything with them?
But
You
yeah,
know?
but what are they using her for? She stands out there and pretends she's Hulk Hogan and sticks her ear out. Like, I can't hear you. That's all she did.
Well, she's a manager. That's what she's doing now. At least it's something.
Well, maybe she actually can't hear them.
Wow.
That's possible.
That's true.
I mean, she's doing great on a nice YouTube show with Ronda Rousey. She did a great episode.
Yeah.
With the attack of the tables, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, her walking around with goats and talking shit is fantastic.
So listen, to move along, we touched on the 24/7. So this is obviously becoming a weekly conversation. As predicted,
You like it better this week now?
as predicted, the attack was going to happen at the OBGYN. It was funny. I definitely did not see Bennett being the one, and then, of course, him being the one and losing it. That makes sense. And now R-Truth is an 11-time champion.
Yay. Oh, Amanda, that's going to be awesome at SummerSlam, however they do this on Sunday.
Oh.
Well, now I'm curious to see how Maria's going to react, because now not only did he turn on her and win the title, but then he lost it. So
That's going to be a great spot.
we'll see how degrading it gets now.
I think Maria's vagina is going to have a lot to do with SummerSlam.
The vagina is attacking
Maria's
SummerSlam.
vagina? Maria's vagina or Mike's vagina?
Well, technically, she owns his vagina, so
This is true. It's a co-vagina. Good Lord.
cohabitation of the vaginal.
Wow. Wow. Oh, listen, not to switch gears so quickly, but this just dawned on me, and I actually feel pretty shitty. Typically, when there's a tragedy that takes place in the wrestling business, we open the show with a 10 bell. And it didn't even dawn on me that we do a 10 bell. But unfortunately, we did lose another legend, Hall of Famer Harley Race. Left us this week. And, he was a big deal in the business for a long time. And I always say this every time we lose somebody, but God bless the network, because you can go back and you can see some of Harley Race and everything he brought to the table. And actually, a cool little story that I heard, Harley he's been sick for a while. And I worked a couple shows with him where his son was wheeling him in because he just couldn't walk, and it was getting bad. Even signing autographs was tough towards the end. And he needed a medicopter to fly him, and insurance wouldn't cover it. So they made a call to WWE, and from my understanding, within a matter of minutes, Vince McMahon made a phone call and paid not only for the medicopter, but all of the medical expenses, which apparently added about 3 to 4 days to Harley Race's life before he passed. So, I just thought that's pretty cool. At the end of the day, no matter what you think of the WWE or what you think of Vince McMahon, when something like that occurs, you got to give all the respect in the world, because he did the right thing, and it was an amazing gesture. It's not something he had to do. But, taking care of the family, came to full peak in this case. So big props to the WWE for doing that, and condolences to the Race family, and we lost another one.
I hear you. I agree. 76 years fighting lung cancer. God bless him.
I mean, you think about that, lung cancer, and he hung out till 76. I mean, it's and he was so good. He was so good in so many aspects of this business.
And they did a fair tribute to him, too.
They did, and it was cool because at first they opened with a tribute to the mass shootings, and even though I thought that was very appropriate and definitely appreciated the sentiment watching it, in the back of my head I said, how did they not open with Harley Race? And I said, I'm sure at some point they're going to do a really good tribute, and they did, and that was great to see.
Yeah, we had a lot of things that were aside from the normal wrestling to have to address last night. So they gave good respect to both situations.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Anyone gets a chance, if you just Google, Summer Harley Races Championship and accomplishments, it's insanity. What this guy did for the business is ridiculous. I mean, he's got almost 2 pages long of belts and matches and match of the year, wrestler of the year. This is sick. This guy truly was, a legend. And rest in peace, Harley Race. God bless you, man. And I know Ric Flair is definitely hurting right now.
Yeah, that's who I feel the worst for.
Yeah, that's got to be a real tough one. Especially when you get to this point now, and you're watching all of your family, because it is a family. It really is. The reunion that alone tells you what a family it is. And you got guys like Dusty and Piper, and you're starting to lose everybody. And I just thank the Lord that Ric Flair is still with us, because it's been dicey, and it's just a matter of time, though. It's like we're losing our childhood. They're all starting to go and get older, and it's heartbreaking in a way. But listen, at the end of the day, it's life, and when it's your time, it's your time. But
the fact that he made it to 76, though, that's not a number that a lot of people in this industry actually make it to.
That's a true story. That's a very true story. A lot of them, we always say, die so young. And so it's nice to see a little bit of longevity, for sure. So it's about halfway through the show. We still got a ton to cover. Anything else, Sam, that we should touch on Raw that we haven't really covered?
I think we pretty much hit everything on Raw. What do you guys think?
I didn't watch.
We covered the women. We covered Samoa Joe. We didn't cover the good match between Rey Mysterio and Andrade.
That's a true story. That
was an excellent match.
They're putting on some great matches. And it works, especially with Selena, the whole dynamic. And what is also, the way I look at it anyway is I sit there and I watch these two going at it, and it's just the way their chemistry in the ring is just superb. But the other thing too is Andrade grew up with Rey as his hero. I mean, that's a real deal thing. That's not, just for shtick. He, as a kid, idolized Rey Mysterio. He wore a mask in Mexico because of Rey Mysterio. So to be able to have this opportunity now, that's got to be the most incredible feeling in the world, And I look at things like that, and I'm just like, man, that's really fucking cool, that he gets to really come full circle in a way. And not only that, but it's great for us because they are putting on
They're killing
amazing matches.
That power bomb, holy shit! When Andrade power bomb Rey Mysterio.
Which one? There were a few good ones.
That last one before the double underhook.
Well, where he threw him. It was almost like a Razor's Edge in a way, but not all the. It wasn't all the way up, but the way he just kind of launched him.
I felt that one, and all of my back.
Yeah.
I still feel it. A good buddy of mine used to give me those power bombs, and that wasn't fun. And it wasn't Steve, because he does only schoolboys, but that's all right.
That is not true. I do low blows into schoolboys.
Same shit. You're like Goldberg with your 2 moves. All right, moving on.
You know what else we haven't covered either, actually, from Raw? Becky Lynch, Neidhart. I am enjoying. Well, first of all, they opened up the show with Trish Stratus in a tag team. which notice she never got tagged in. She just had that small little thing at the end. I do like this darker side of Natty. I don't think she's going to win, but I think I like this darker side for sure.
She is winning.
Oh, so you think that actually when you give someone good writing and actually can wrestle, they do well?
It's amazing how that works, right?
That's nice.
You know, listen, Natty's one of them that is great in the ring, and her promos aren't the greatest, but they're not terrible.
Better.
What?
They're getting better.
They are getting better.
They're better than Seth Rollins. I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna win.
I mean, have you guys been seeing all the talk about all the women in WWE with the plastic surgeries and how they feel that Vince is pushing them into a certain way because the blonde, big boob girls are the ones that will always be pushed. Charlotte, Alexa, Carmella, and they've all changed. Charlotte is barely recognizable from NXT.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, even the Iconics, I believe Vince got them implants, if I'm not mistaken.
Somebody got him.
Yeah.
Is that a problem for anybody? Or
No, not at all. But what I do feel is a problem is we're in this women's revolution era. And if the women feel like they have to do these things to get a push, I think that's pretty shitty.
Oh, well, of course. I absolutely agree. But I feel like you also have to remember that when you become a star, you have to start looking like a star. You have to start changing your appearance to a degree. And not that that's okay, but that's part of the business, you know?
Well, no, I don't agree.
No, it's not though, because...
Let's hear the women's side of this one.
Go ahead, you could start, baby.
That should not be a thing when you're in sports. It should be your talent is based on your actual physical talent, and they're not utilizing people. They don't utilize people like Sasha Banks, Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, Kairi Sane, Asuka. For what reason? Because they don't fit that mold of being the big boob blonde girls.
So you're saying the longest undefeated streak of a woman ever was not blonde haired or big boobs. The winner of the Mae Young Classic.
But look at them when they get on the main roster.
Well,
You're
course,
talking about.
but
You're
the
not
point is
talking
that-
about main roster accomplishments.
Okay, so let me go back then. So I am, as you said, in sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am an up and comer in basketball, let's say, right? I have a good talent. I am currently driving a Toyota Camry. Not that there's anything wrong with Toyota Camrys, but I get drafted to the NBA. And
Yep.
I now buy myself a mansion and a Maybach Benz. Because I did that, that's not the right thing to do, and I'm wrong. I'm
No,
not
that's-
looking the part and playing the part.
That's
Buy
what
the
you,
car.
that's what you choose to do as you as the person, not what
Well-
someone made you do.
To a degree, but if you're in a group where everyone is at that level, you don't do that. If everyone's doing a suplex in their match and you realize that's getting over, you won't do a suplex.
Okay, well, let me put it to you this way then. I'll go this route then. That's the image that they want for the female wrestlers. That has not always been the caliber image that it has to be for the men wrestler because, sorry, I have never wanted to look at Viscera or drool at Bastion Booger, Shockmaster, Tugboat, whatever the fuck you want to call him, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I can give you a list of fucking ugly-ass male wrestlers that I've been watching my entire life
But they were
Yep.
not. They were not world champions.
and didn't give two shits what they look like.
But they weren't world champions.
That doesn't matter, but they still got cheered for and everything and got pushes in some way. You mean to tell me King Mabel didn't get a push?
Oh, King Mabel was terrible.
Mick Foley didn't get.
There you go, Mick Foley. That is an ugly looking motherfucker. I love Mick to death, but he is an ugly looking man.
See, here's my
And
here's
even Mick Foley says he's a terrible wrestler. That's
here
fantastic.
here's my take on the
Okay,
whole
what
thing.
about Ric Flair?
Ric Flair's the fucking man.
But he's not a good looking dude.
No.
But he.
There ain't
Jet
okay.
flying.
Those women that get in those jets,
He's
those
got
women that get in those jets want the
Rolex.
money, not him.
Here's my take on it. I think Sam is right to a degree early on. You know, when there was no women's revolution, the women, the most TV time they were getting was a pillow fight, bra and panties match, or Jello wrestling. And yeah, maybe then I could see women were encouraged to make changes to their bodies and faces in order to be pushed more. But in this day and age, where women's wrestling has become just as good, in my opinion, if not better at times, to the men, we're in a different era now, and I think their actions in the ring, inside and outside of the ring, actually, their actions, the way they portray themselves, should have nothing to do with how big their tits are and how many face lifts and surgeries they feel they need to do to be able to get over. I think in this day and age, the women, you know, could be as ugly as they could be and still get pushed, because if you're good in the ring, that's all that should matter. And this is coming from a guy who appreciates watching a beautiful woman, you know, roll around the ring. Don't get me wrong.
Not that I'm calling her ugly, because I don't think she is. I think she's a beautiful woman. But look at, like, Awesome Khan.
Yeah.
Awesome Kong is a perfect example.
You know what I mean? But, like, okay, she is wrestled everywhere. She's been on, what the heck is the name of that show? Glow on Netflix. She's everywhere. She's relevant.
She's probably going to become your first women's champion of AEW as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's everywhere, and she deserves it. It has nothing to do with, and like I said, I think she's a beautiful woman, but it has nothing to do with what she looks like. Like someone like, even like Jacqueline and Jazz in the past have been overlooked by what they do with their wrestling ability because they don't fit that mold.
Well, now hold on. How about what's her face, Shayna Baszler?
Jen Baszler, absolutely. There's another one.
I mean, she is not a good-looking woman by any means. You know, but she's a champion. But she's a champion.
Yeah, and she deserves. But that's NXT, and rules. The regular rules of what goes on.
Man doesn't control
apply
it.
to NXT. NXT, it's all about your ability. It doesn't matter what you look like.
Yep.
Look at Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano doesn't.
Listen, I don't agree with you. I agree with Steve. I think he's.
Hang on, I'm gonna faint. I agree with Steve.
Holy shit, we agree.
Let me try to bring back this up.
It took 43 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, but we agree.
That's why there's no pictures of our faces, because we all just fainted.
So hear me out. I totally get what you're saying. It's not that I 100% disagree. I just want to give my perspective. Here's what I mean. Loving wrestling, as we all do, right? That's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Charlotte Flair from the moment she started in NXT, right? Looking like the volleyball player of all volleyball players, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I grew to like and love her more by her wrestling ability day by day.
Yes.
And every day and every match by match, she started to not only wrestle better, she started to look better. And because of that, that doesn't mean, oh, they made her do that, they forced her, they got the big boob. No, she continued to progress both in her in-ring ability and the way she looks.
Yes.
And for me,
Absolutely.
And for me, it is that balance of the two that makes me enjoy it.
Right. I mean, listen, it's plain and simple. She started to become her father.
Right. She started to become great at what she did, and she needs to start looking great at what she does.
There's nothing wrong with being the good-looking girl and being, like I said, Charlotte's gorgeous. That's not the issue. And not saying that it's because of Charlotte's looks that she's getting what she's getting. Charlotte deserves to be the main event.
Charlotte's the best wrestler in the WWE pound for pound.
Yeah.
I agree.
I can agree with that. That's what I'm saying.
For the women.
Maybe even for the men. I mean,
Even
AJ Styles is probably the only other one. Don't give me the Finn Balor bullshit, please, God.
Well, I wasn't even gonna mention Finn Balor, but I mean, if we're talking about, you know,
She may be the most entertaining one to watch right now on the current roster. He might be right on that.
well, listen. At the end of the day, she's a Flair, and she does it well. I mean,
But she does it. She does it even. This is gonna sound crazy. She does it better than her father. She has never taken
That's a
a
very
side
bold
bump.
statement, my
She has
friend.
never taken a side bump.
I might have to agree on that athleticism wise, though. I might have to agree on that.
To fight with, if she had Sting, she would be fantastic. She needs a female Sting. That's it.
Well, she had her female Sting. It was Sasha Banks. That
No,
feud.
Sasha Banks is
That
not a-
feud was phenomenal. Listen, don't start shitting on Sasha Banks.
Oh God, here we go.
I'm a big fan of Sasha Banks.
Is Snoop Dogg gonna come crip walk on me because I say this?
Fuck Snoop. Listen, I take that back. I take that back. I love Snoop.
You better
But-
take it easy.
But no, I do. I love Snoop. But here's my thing. Those matches her and Charlotte had, both in NXT and on the main roster, were some of the best women matches we have seen in decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is
And it wasn't all Charlotte. It was not all Charlotte.
Oh come on.
You can't tell me that was all Charlotte. Their Hell in the Cell match?
Charlotte
As
Flair's
one example.
the best wrestler in the WWE.
I'm not
What it
saying
is.
Sasha is better than Charlotte. I'm saying Sasha is Charlotte's Sting in this situation. That's my opinion.
I don't know
That's-
if she's
that's
that
bold.
caliber.
That's way too bold to say Charlotte. Not Charlotte. Sasha's close to Sting. Bullshit.
No. In terms of, like, how do I explain it? In terms of, like, being the kryptonite of the two. Or, the good cop to the bad cop. Like, they were just perfect together. Their chemistry, everything about it, their storytelling, it was believable, convincing.
I don't know. I think that Bailey Sasha Banks match at Takeover was probably the best women's match of all time.
You just said Bailey Sasha Banks?
Yeah.
I mean,
At Takeover.
that was a phenomenal match.
That was
phenomenal.
better than any Sasha Banks and Flair match ever.
See, I don't know if I agree with that.
And they're back to disagreeing. No one's all right with the world.
Now
Well-
that was the point of the conversation.
All right, well, listen, it's we're getting close to the top of the hour, and we need to do predictions.
We still haven't addressed
What?
Brock and Seth yet either, though.
Well, 'cause
We haven't addressed
That's
what?
terrible. We don't even
Brock and Seth.
I mean, is it necessary? Brock destroyed him again. He was stupid
That was
enough
funny.
to come out. It was hilarious.
Exactly.
Heyman cut a phenomenal promo, as always. And Seth Rollins, says that he's going to win.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna burn it down.
I just want to tell everyone my DDP tape ribs tell me I'm gonna win.
Does anyone else feel like they're watching South Park when he talks?
Oh my God, they killed Kenny.
You bastard. So, Sam, do you have the rundown for matches for SummerSlam? Because you were reading them off before. Do you have that?
I do. Just bear with me a second to pull them back.
Oh, I thought that was all in his head. No.
That's 2,000 matches.
Yeah, it's a lot of matches. But
Yeah,
at least
man,
this
it's
way,
gonna
we'll go
be-
one by one. We'll do some predictions. While we're waiting for Sam to pull that up, did we have questions come through?
Yes, one.
What do you got?
Hold on. What do you think will be? What match will steal the show at SummerSlam, and which one will disappoint?
Oh, that's good.
Ooh.
So this ties in with this question. I guess we can answer it as we go. You pick your steal the show and kill the show.
Yes, that sounds good. We'll do it as we go.
Great.
And then I have one here. Let me see. Actually, it's more of a statement. Andre wrote in again, and he wrote, favorite spot of the night, Maria Kanellis losing the belt. So, it was more of a statement than a question, but thank you, Andre.
Yeah, Andre, appreciate it as always. How we looking, Chairman?
All right, I apologize. I'm having some technical difficulties.
Please
That's
stand by.
okay. Well, we could always say too, then if you do want to ask any questions or anything, you could always send it to askthewarreport@gmail.com, or you could always do hashtag on Instagram or Twitter, @thewarreport.
Right, or you can start following Amanda as well on Instagram, and she always, in her stories, also gets some questions in there too. So plenty of opportunities and ways to send your questions and comments in. And why the hell wouldn't you? Because you get an opportunity to possibly be selected for a free pick in the Wrestle Rumble Pick'em contest, and in this case, it happens to be the SummerSlam Pick'em contest. And Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong. The number one grand prize for SummerSlam is $1,000 cash.
Yep.
So if you send in a question or a comment, be a part of the show, and get selected, you have a free opportunity for a chance at $1,000. To me, that's a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
I have the matches if you don't have them.
And they
Go
also
for it.
have to converse with us. That's just a win-win too.
Amen. All right, Amanda's got them pulled up, so go ahead. Let's start from the top.
All right, so we've got Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship.
I think, based on what has happened over the last couple weeks, I have to now change my theory, and I have to go with Seth Rollins.
I don't know.
I feel like for him to get massacred 2 weeks in a row, I feel like his payday is going to be at SummerSlam. I don't know how it's going to go down, but my gut tells me Rollins goes over.
Maybe because like that's the only way to save him from his steep fall.
His fall from grace.
Yeah. I was reading today about how he's probably he went from being the most over wrestler to literally he got his ass handed to him and nobody came out to help him.
Talk about booking that is fucking up somebody's career royally.
Well, I said no one started to care when Becky took his balls.
Yeah. And she took the balls and she's running with them because she's killing it.
Even her, I feel like her is dropping off too.
You're getting over it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still enjoying her. You know, and now she's going to be the first woman to cover WWE 2K, which is a very huge accomplishment. But,
she definitely deserved that.
yeah. So, Kat and Sam, what do you guys think? Who's taking this match?
Brock.
Brock, absolutely. There's no way Rollins is going over.
All right. Looks like I'm on my own. Seems to be the common theme this evening.
Shit.
All right. What's next?
Becky Lynch versus Natalya in a submission match.
Becky Lynch goes over.
Natalya.
I say Becky Lynch takes it.
Come on, guys. The sharpshooter in Canada and then Bret Hart comes out.
Yeah, that's not
Exactly why she will lose.
Ooh,
No.
another screw job. I might have to switch.
gonna happen. There's no way that they're giving her the belt. Not yet. They
We
gotta
should
wait.
see.
I think Becky continues her reign.
I bet you a pair of Converse, Amanda, that Becky Lynch wins.
Ooh.
Hey now.
That's
Converse, the
bad.
Converse.
All right. We could do this.
I want it on air. I want to record it.
This will be forever on YouTube, so you accept.
What's next?
Bailey versus Ember Moon for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Who cares?
I'm going with Ember Moon.
Sure.
I like Ember Moon.
I love
I like-
Ember Moon, but like,
Nobody cares about that match?
no.
Really, it hasn't been built up.
That match is terrible.
They're like friends and she just randomly gave it to Ember Moon. It's just weird.
I wonder how many hugs are going to show up in this match at the end.
Hmm.
I'll give it to Bailey, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Bailey's getting in. I don't care either.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ember on this one.
Wow, you're 0 for 2, right? 0 for 3? What is it?
What's next?
Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship.
My gut tells me Kofi's keeping it, but I would love to see Orton get another run with the title. I just don't see.
Nah, they're not going to give it to Orton.
Yeah, Kofi's keeping it.
Yeah, Kofi's definitely.
You know, and here's the other thing to consider too. If you recall, they did a montage video of why there's so much hate from Orton, and they took us back to years ago when they had that little thing, and Orton ultimately got over then. And I think this time it's going to be Kofi, and it's going to kind of legitimize his title reign, in a way.
That's what Kofi's selling. He's like, Randy Orton cost me my push 10 years ago. He was never going to be pushed with that stupid gimmick and his fake Jamaican accent.
The best still to this day was Triple H. Weren't you Jamaican?
Yeah. What happened to your accent?
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
All right, what's next?
Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. If Kevin Owens loses, he quits the WWE.
I don't see how Kevin Owens loses this match.
KO's losing.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I go Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. He just had time off because he was injured, so it's not like, there's a chance he needs time off or something. So I think there's no way Kevin Owens loses.
Or he's like the martyr for WWE fans. Speaking the truth.
Right.
He's the new Stone Cold. So basically Stone Cold Vince all over again. So maybe they make him lose it so he can just show up randomly throughout events for the next 6 months and stunner Shane.
Oh, just keep doing run-ins through the crowd and shit. Yeah, it's possible.
Too. It's Stone Cold. Put him in handcuffs. We'll see what happens.
Oh, that's bound to happen.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Finn Balor versus The Fiend for the first time.
The Fiend is going to destroy Finn Balor.
Oh, God, yes.
I honestly think that's going to be a quick match, too. I don't think that's going to go long.
Definitely.
Just like that Raw or whatever it was, or SmackDown or whatever it was.
Mexico versus Goldberg. 2 seconds.
What's next?
AJ Styles versus Ricochet for the United States Championship.
Match of the night.
Match of the night. I agree. And I'm going to go with Ricochet.
Ricochet.
And we're going to listen to Eric. Mark my words, we're going to listen to Eric next week. What the fuck was the point of them taking it off of Ricochet in the first place then? But that's coming. But
I'm saying
No, I actually think that Styles is going to keep it.
You do?
Yep, I agree with Amanda.
The club's going to interfere and he's going to get disqualified.
I got your back on this one, Steve.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ricochet.
Come on, Kat. You were doing so well all night.
Everyone's entitled to a mistake every now and then.
Hey! You won't be saying it's such a mistake come Sunday. Believe that.
I meant their mistake, not ours.
Yeah. Good save. What's next?
Here we have the disappointment of the night with Dolph Ziggler versus Goldberg.
Who cares?
Could that be the biggest disappointment of the night when we already know it's going to be a disappointment?
Yes.
I think the disappointment of the night is Drew Gulak versus Oni Lorcan.
Autumn, did you just call that match a bathroom break? Goldberg and Dolph Ziggler? I love you.
It was a full 60-second pee-pee toilet.
My 10-year-old called it a bathroom break. I love it.
What's next?
Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus.
Charlotte's going to destroy Trish Stratus in her own hometown. Destroy her.
Yeah, I think Charlotte goes over.
Yep.
I think Trish is going to try some yoga shit.
Especially because it's in Canada.
Yeah.
There's a reason why she didn't get in the ring at all last night.
Moonsault, figure eight.
Well, she didn't get in the ring because they want you to pay to have her get in the ring. They want you to sign up to that network.
$9.99.
Okay, what's next?
That's all I have. That's like the actual announced matches, and then there's the couple.
Unannounced. We got some unannounced. What do you got, Amanda, for unannounced?
I don't have anything. You have it.
I got Ali versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke's going over.
Oh, come on.
Shinsuke's still the champion, isn't he?
Is there a bus going through somewhere?
Sorry, that was me. It's done.
Holy shit. What, who said what? I say Shinsuke.
Is Shinsuke still the champion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just
I'm gonna
won it,
say
I think, a
Shinsuke.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
What else?
I go Shinsuke, and then we have the Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag title match again.
But that just happened.
They're
so-
doing that again?
Maybe. It's not officially announced.
Who's
Then
in it now?
Same teams.
Same teams.
if they wind up doing it again and it's the same teams, then I'm going with the Kabuki Sex Warriors.
What's
I
fun
agree.
is that we're going to see all of these same Raw matches at the next night. Every title match we see is going to be at Raw on Monday.
Yeah, the rematch. All right. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. We're at top of the hour, so SmackDown, hopefully take-home show to SummerSlam, has started. Appreciate everyone tuning in, checking us out. Spread the word. We are on every single platform you could possibly imagine for podcasts, including iTunes. So check us out, download, tell your friends, subscribe to YouTube if you want to see the video. If not, listen to us anywhere. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m., the War Report podcast. Next week will be a great one because we'll have plenty to talk about with NXT and, of course, SummerSlam and then Raw. So make sure you tune in. And, of course, brought to you, as always, by TagMeADate.com, the first and only dating site for wrestling fans. The perfect time to find somebody to cuddle up with and enjoy SummerSlam with, and it's free. So check it out. The apps are available. Go over to the iTunes Store or the Google Play Store. Download the app and check it out. It's free, so why the hell wouldn't you? And thanks again for tuning in. Check us out next week. We will have Vince back next week, and he has a very special surprise. So make sure you tune in. You're going to want to check this out. You talk about a blast from the past. You talk about a voice in this business, then you're going to want to tune in to find out what I'm talking about. So check us out next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next